السميع العليم من الشيطان الغوي الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وصلى الله على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let's welcome Sayyid Ahmed to recite some verses from the Holy Quran with a loud salawat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين والقرآن الحكيم. إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم. تنزيل العزيز الرحيم. لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون. لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون. إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون. وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون. وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم. إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين. واضرب لهم مثلا مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الغوي الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. Firstly, I would like to congratulate Maulana Al-Hujjat ibn Al-Hassan on the birth of his grandfather, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, and his son and his grandson, Imam Al-Sadiq alayhi salam, with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Secondly, I'd like to thank you all for joining us today in this workshop, and I hope you will find it beneficial, inshallah ta'ala. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi says, I am the city of knowledge, and Ali alayhi salam is the door. Whoever desires to enter the city should enter from the door. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. أهل بيت طهروا من دنس وبهم في الحشر تعطى الدرجات فإذا ما ذكروا في محفل ارفعوا أصواتكم بالصلوات. Dear brothers and sisters, please let us welcome Sayyid Mohsin Shah with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Congratulations to the Imam of our time. May Allah hasten his reappearance, and also to all brothers and sisters on the blessed birth of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi, and also Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam. This section was actually dedicated to the children. So inshallah, I've got a little short speech ready for you guys in order to introduce Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa sallam to you, and also inshallah you guys can learn a thing or two about Rasulullah. And furthermore, we also have a video later on, inshallah, for you guys to enjoy. So let us start with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. All praises be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and blessings be upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his holy household. The Prophet of Allah, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, was born in Mecca, which is today Saudi Arabia, on the 17th of Rabi al-Awwal of the year of the elephant. This is taqriban 570 AD Gregorian calendar. It is called the year of the elephant as Braha, the Abyssinian Christian ruler of Yemen, he had his kingdom and so forth, and he marched towards Mecca to destroy the Kaaba. And he intended to destroy, and this is why it is known as the year of the elephant, because he came with elephants. And the famous story is that the birds came and picked up stones and dropped them on the soldiers and on the elephants, so they could not get near the Kaaba. And this is why it is known as the year of the elephant. Rasulullah, his father's name was Abdullah, and his mother's name was Abna bint Wahab. Both had a monotheistic background, and Abdullah belonged to the honorable tribe known as Bani Hashim. The Prophet's father died before he was born, and Rasulullah's mother died when he was 6. His grandfather Abdul Muttalib looked after him, but he also died when the Prophet was only 8 years old. So his mother passed away when Rasulullah was only 6 years old. He had no mother or father left. He went to his grandfather, and he only spent 2 years with his grandfather, and his grandfather passed away. After that, his uncle Abu Talib alayhi salam, he was the one that looked after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he became the head of the tribe. And he treated Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam like his own son. It was his brother's son, but he treated him like his own. And the stories tell us that even when Rasulullah was very, very young, he would switch the beds between his sons and Rasulullah, just in case someone came at night to try and attack Rasulullah. They will attack his own son and not Rasulullah. He protected him with everything he could. As the Prophet grew up, he earned a reputation for having good akhlaq and also speaking the truth. And this is how he got the title Al-Amin. In fact, people were so trustworthy of Rasulullah that they would leave their belongings with him when they used to go travel far. They'll give them their money or their gold or valuable items and say, I'm going for traveling. I'll be back in 6 months. I'll be back in 1 year. Can you look after this for me? And he said, no problem. I'll take care of it for you. The Prophet of Islam had different jobs, but he was known for being a trader. And he accompanied his uncle Abu Talib on many of his journeys to Syria, where he learnt how to buy goods and bring them back and sell them for a profit and so forth. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was older, worked for a business lady known as Sayyidah Khadija sallallahu alaiha. And when he was 25 years old, Sayyidah Khadija asked Rasulullah that if he would marry her and not the other way around. The Prophet agreed, and later Rasulullah and Sayyidah Khadija sallallahu alaiha had one daughter known as Fatima Zahra sallallahu alaiha. At the age of 40, the Prophet was visited by the angel of knowledge, Jibreel, on Mount Hira, and his mission to spread Islam began. Rasulullah, for the next 30 years, 20 years actually, 23 to be exact, but for the next 23 years, was receiving wahi from Hazrat Jibreel and from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the messages of the Quran, and slowly, surely he brought Islam to the people of Mecca. And not just only was he here to revive the religion of Tawheed, but to teach them the best of akhlaq. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa was known to have such good akhlaq, such good mannerisms, that people could not walk away from him. They just loved him so much. And slowly over the time, he brought us many, many lessons. Thank you for listening to my short talk. And inshallah, now we're going to have a small video for you guys of one of the stories of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa. So let us welcome with as-salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Will you tell me the story of another prophet, Baba?
I'm glad that you love listening to the stories of prophets, my son.
Yes, Baba, I do. Which story are you going to tell me today?
Inshallah, I will start telling you the story of the last prophet God sent to earth, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
Mashallah, that is great.
Now listen carefully. Bismillah. Story of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Muhammad, peace be upon him, was born in Makkah, Arabia on 12 Rabi al-Awwal. His mother, Amina, was the daughter of Wahab ibn Abdul Manaf of the Zahra family. His father, Abdullah, was the son of Abdul Muttalib. His ancestors can be traced to the noble house of Ishmael, the son of Prophet Ibrahim, alayhi salam. The Prophet's father died before he was born, and his...
Okay, class, who would like to do problem 3 on the board?
His mother took care of him till the age of 6. By the time he turned 6, his mother too passed away. His grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, took tender care of the orphan child. But the old chief passed away in the next 2 years, and before his death, he put the little one in charge of his uncle, Abu Talib. Prophet Muhammad grew up as an obedient boy. When he was 12 years old, he accompanied his uncle Abu Talib on his journey to Busra. They travelled for many months in the desert. When he introduced Muhammad to the monk, Bahira was very impressed. He then said to Abu Talib, "Return with this boy and guard him against the hatred of Jews. A great career awaits your nephew." Abu Talib didn't quite understand what the monk had meant. His nephew was just a normal child. He thanked Bahira and returned to Makkah. After this journey, nothing special happened in the life of this young prophet for a long time. But all authorities agree that he had a great wisdom, manners and morals, which was rare among the people of Makkah. He was liked by everyone for his good character and wisdom that he received the title of Al-Amin, which means the faithful. Like every other child, he had to do the chores in his family. His uncle had lost most of his wealth, and the Prophet helped him by taking care of his flocks. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, mostly led a solitary life. He was sad when he saw the sudden outbursts of bloody quarrels among the people of Makkah. The people didn't care about the law. The Prophet's heart grieved when he saw the misery of other people, and such scenes were a daily occurrence in Makkah during that time. When the Prophet was 25 years old, he travelled once again to Syria, and it was here that he met the love of his life, Khadija. Khadija was one of the most beautiful and noble women around, and she was from a very wealthy family. But she was a widow. In spite of being a widow, many wealthy and prominent men in the society asked her hand in marriage. But she rejected them all, as she had lost the desire to marry again. It was only until Prophet Muhammad ﷺ entered her life. Khadija was looking for someone honest who could conduct business for her. It was then that she got introduced to the Prophet. She learned that even though he was an orphan and poor, he came from a noble family. This man was of impeccable moral character and widely known as the most honest man around. The Prophet soon started working for her and set out for his first business trip, followed by a servant. After they came back, she asked her servant about Prophet's conduct. The servant amazed her by his report. "This young man is the kindest I have ever seen," he said. He never treated me harshly as many others do. And when we were traveling in the desert under the scorching sun, there was always a cloud following us, providing us the shade. Not only that, this new employee proved to be a very good businessman as well. First, he sold the merchandise she gave to him. Then, with the profits, he bought other merchandise and resold them again, thus making double profits. Khadija fell deeply in love with the Prophet. Even though he was 15 years younger, she resolved to marry this man. The next day, she sent his sister to this young man. "Why are you not married yet?" she asked him. "For lack of means," he answered. "What if I were to offer you a wife of nobility and beauty? Will you be interested?" she asked. "Who is it?" he replied. When she mentioned her sister, the young man chuckled in amazement. "How could I marry her? She has turned down the most noble men in the city." They were much wealthier and prominent than this poor shepherd. But the sister replied, "Don't you worry, I will take care of it." Not long after, the Prophet married Khadija. It was the beginning of one of the most loving, happiest and sacred marriages in all human history. This marriage gave him the loving heart of a woman who consoled him and kept alive within him a flickering flame of hope when no man believed in him. The Prophet lived a wealthy life for many years after that. When the Prophet reached the age of 35, he settled by his judgment a grave dispute which threatened to plunge Arabia into a fresh series of war. It was the time for rebuilding the Kaaba. Every tribe who had gathered there wanted the honor of raising the black stone, the most holy relic. The leaders and men of each tribe fought among themselves, claiming the honor. Then, a senior citizen in
Never get a copyright claim again by using epidemic sound. Discover more than 35
intervened, and he said to the people, "You will listen to the first man who enters through that gate." The people agreed and waited patiently, looking at the gate. The first man to enter the gate was none other than Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the Al-Amin. The different tribes sought his advice, and after they finished, the Prophet ordered, "Place the stone on a cloth. Each tribe shall have the honor of lifting the stone by holding a part of the cloth." The people happily agreed to this idea. The stone was thus placed, and the rebuilding of the house was completed without further interruption. It was during this time that Usman ibn Huwairith arrived in Makkah. He tried to tempt the people of Makkah by using Byzantine gold and tried to turn the territory dependent on Roman government. But his attempts failed because the Prophet intervened and warned the people of Makkah. The Prophet always helped the poor and needy as well. It is said that when his uncle Abu Talib fell into bad times, the Prophet cleared all his debts using his personal wealth. The Prophet also undertook the education of his uncle's son Ali and brought him up. A year later, he adopted Aqil, another one of his uncle's son.
MashaAllah, that was such...
صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Thank you very much, Sayyid Mohsin, for this wonderful speech. I think this was part one, as far as I know. So there will be part two. But before that, let me just make a quick announcement regarding the raffle tickets. I think somebody will move around to distribute raffle tickets, I think, as Hussein basically told me. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعجل فرجهم. Dr. Abu Hussein, do you want me to wait until you distribute the raffle ticket, or shall I continue? Okay. Now I think Brother Mahdi got a poem, so let me invite him with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. When truth was lost and hearts frozen, from you, Allah, came a prophet chosen. Blessed Prophet Muhammad, obedient to you, taught us the things we ought to do. He taught us for certain that you are one, and that you have neither a daughter nor son. He taught us to be good to our mother and father, and that paradise lies under the feet of our mother. I love you, my Prophet, and sing your praise, and follow your sunnah, prophetic ways. One day I will come to visit your tomb, inshallah, that day will be very soon. What year was 570 AD? A person was born, a prophet to be, Muhammad salawat. That was his name. People were misguided, and that's when he came. He had gone to leave all the idols behind. He is an example to all of mankind. Rabi al-Awwal, the 17th, that was the day. He came to this world to show us the way. He was born in Mecca, the holiest place. A life full of challenges he was to face. Abdullah, his father, had by then passed away, leaving Amina, his mother, in her arms he lay. Halima Sa'diyah took over his care. Until he was 6, our Prophet was there. His mother then died, he was left all alone. Abdul Muttalib, his granddad, then made him his own. When our Prophet was 9, his grandfather died. Abu Talib, his uncle, became his new guide. In his 20s, a merchant Muhammad became by trade. Al-Amin, the trustworthy, became his grade. Hazrat Khadija, aged 25, became his bride. He was 25 with her by her side. He was 25 with her by his side. To the poor she gave away all her wealth, a dedicated wife in sickness and health. 360 idols in the Kaaba they were at that time. Our Prophet realized that this was a crime. He would go on to Mount Hira, leaving behind his wife, reflecting and wondering about the meaning of life. While thinking there in the midst of the night, he heard a loud voice which filled him with fright. It was our angel Jibreel who asked him to read. Our Prophet couldn't and didn't take heed. The angel embraced him and then asked him later, read in the name of the Creator, salawat. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He is beyond human comprehension. His praise human minds will ever mention. He is the greatest proof of Allah's being. Each is a creature, his theology does sing. He is the greatest teacher of mankind. All human qualities in him we can find. He taught us how to think and how to act. He brought us out of myths and led to fact. The universe was constructed for his cause. He is living his life today as it was. Always to clemency is inclined his mood. He told us how to live and how to die. Those who love him shine like stars in the sky. He is a prophet for all generations. He combines in one all human nations. He brought the Quran and Islam for all souls, to teach them how they are to play their roles. May Allah bless us with His love boundless. Allah's increases praise to countless. Salawat. The birthday of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Oh, wonderful gift from our Lord, the one we so much cherished, our beloved Prophet Muhammad, the best of mankind. Pious was he, and he was so kind. With all his strength, he propagated Islam. He was so honest, so humble and kind. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, upon his family and his righteous kins. 17th of Rabi al-Awwal, he was born. A special day, not a remorseful one. Blessed is the day of Mawlud, a beautiful day in the crannies and nooks. We remember you with ecstasy in our hearts, and thank Allah, the creator of the sky. We rejoice today and feel so fly. We are so happy and filled with pride. The rahmah of Allah be upon him, our great Prophet and precious deen. Today is the birthday of Rasulullah, and we rejoice with a joyful heart. Salawat. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I think the beautiful gift that can be given to Mahdi is a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. ولد النبي فأشرقت دنيانا والخير غطى أرضنا وسمانا وقلوبنا ذاقت حلاوة حبه فتذوقت في حبه الإيمانا. Dear brothers and sisters, let me again invite Sayyid Mohsin with the loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أفلم صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم محمد وأهل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. أما بعد. From the Holy Quran, Surah Muhammad, verse 2. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وآمنوا بما نزل على محمد وهو الحق صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. All praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator of the heavens, of the earth, of mankind, the jinn and the angels. And may Allah's blessing be upon Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So I do apologize, they've given me quite a lot of time, so I'm going to be talking quite a lot. And judging by the audience, we've got a much younger audience, so I'll have to tone down my language. But what I wanted to discuss with you today, inshallah, is a little look into the biography of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I wanted to look at a little bit before the birth of Rasulullah, the history of Mecca and what the scene was in Mecca. I wanted to look at a little bit about Rasulullah's birth and also his upbringing. And furthermore, I wanted to look at his mission and finally his character, maybe some miracles and some also misconceptions about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa sallam. So thus I begin with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So I'll tone down my academic language for you guys because I can see it's a quite young crowd. So let's start off with Mecca. Where is Mecca in Saudi Arabia and how did Mecca come about? Who were the first inhabitants of Mecca? Now, does anyone know? Does anyone want to put their hand up and have a guess? Who was, let's say, one of the first prophets to walk on the lands of Mecca? Go on. MashaAllah. But there was one before. There was many before. The first, go ahead. Ahsant. Prophet Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam was the one who came to Mecca and he was with his wife and his son. Does anyone know the name of his son? The elder one, not the younger one. The younger one was Ishaq. Who's the elder one? Nabi Ishaq is the youngest son. The older son was Nabi Ismail. So Nabi Ismail was there with his mother Sarah. And Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam brought them to Mecca. He brought them to Mecca and he told them about their mission. He said that from Nabi Ismail will come a great prophet. And he will be here in this land in Mecca. And here he will establish the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you guys have to stay here. And came the famous story that Nabi Ibrahim left. And it was just, his wife Sarah and Nabi Ismail. And she went to look for water. Because there was no water there. Now, does anyone know the story of where she looked for water? She ran between two mountains. Do you know the name of the mountains? Safa and Marwa were the two mountains. And she ran between the two searching for water. And then they say she ran 7 times. And then Nabi Ismail hit his foot. So a young baby hit his heel into the ground. And water started to come out of the ground. And this is known as my Zamzam, the fountain of Zamzam. And today when we perform Hajj and Umrah, we still do the running between Safa and Marwa, and we still drink from the fountain of Zamzam water. Now, where there is water, there is life. Wherever there is a fountain, a spring of water, people will come. So when this fountain, Zamzam fountain, was created, when it came, this is when people started to come to Mecca and started to stay there and live there because there was fresh water. And slowly, slowly, Mecca started to become populated. Yes, at the time, there was the Kaaba, it was there. And it was built by Ibrahim alayhi salam, Nabi Ibrahim, and his son Ismail. And we have till this day, Maqam Ibrahim, the actual place where he stood, his footprints are still there as well, and built the Kaaba. And then slowly, slowly, in Mecca, more and more people came to visit the Kaaba, people came for pilgrimage, and the people that were living there began to open markets and open shops and so forth, and they would serve the pilgrims, they would serve those who came to perform their pilgrimage. And from the family of Ismail came Bani Hashim, and Bani Hashim was one of the most noble and one of the most honorable tribes, and it was them who were in charge of distributing the Zamzam water amongst the pilgrims. And none other than Hazrat Abu Talib alayhi salam was the one who was in charge to give the water to the pilgrims that would come to Mecca and so forth. So this was the scene in Mecca before the arrival of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. And it was on a very, very special night where there was stars gleaming and shining that came the birth of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi. People could see all these miraculous things in the sky. They could feel that something is very, very special about tonight. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi was born. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi was born, he spent a couple of years with what we call a wet nurse. He spent time in the deserts and this was common amongst the Arabs, that they would give their children, their babies, for 4-5 years to nomads who lived in the deserts. There they will learn traditions, Arab culture, Arab language. It was very important that they learned to speak Arabic, especially Fusha Arabic, and have the correct pronunciations of the words and so forth. And also to learn poetry and things like this. So this was very, very common, and also Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi went through this little nursery of perfecting his language and linguistics and culture. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So let's look now at the early life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam. We know that his father passed away before he was born. We know his mother passed away when he was 6 years old. His grandfather passed away when he was 8, and now his uncle Abu Talib would be the one that was raising him. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi had many, many different jobs. As you saw from the video, he was a shepherd for some time. But it was from his uncle he learnt the art of trading. His uncle used to be a trader and used to take him on his trips towards Syria to bring back goods and so forth. Here he became a very, very good tradesman. He had a keen eye for products that would sell and things that they can make profit with. And slowly, slowly he climbed up the ranks. Also that he started to work for Sayyidah Khadija salamun alayha. Now Sayyidah Khadija came from a very, very wealthy family. She inherited her father's wealth and she owned, so it's like this. Imagine you have to go to bring goods to bring back to sell. Now you're going to need camels for that, and people would take 2, 3, 10, 15, 20, 30 camels towards Syria or towards Yemen or even towards Iraq and so forth to bring back goods like silk, spices, different ornaments, wood and so forth. Now think how many camels you're going to need for the whole of Arabia, for business in Mecca especially. And Sayyidah Khadija salam alayha owned 90% of the camels that were there. So if there was 100 camels, Sayyidah Khadija, she owned 90 of them. If there was 1,000 camels, she owned 900 of them. And she used to rent them out to people. People would rent the camels, saying, I'm going to go on a trip, I need some camels. She would say, how much would you like? I need 10, I need 15, I need 20, here you go, and they'll pay her the money. And this made her one of the most wealthiest women in Arabia. She was richer than some kings, or in the world. And she was the one who fell in love with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa because of his honesty, because of his akhlaq, of the way he presented himself and the way he carried himself. And she saw from his work and from his business that he was a good man of good nature, and it was exactly what she was looking for. And hence she went forward and asked for his hand in marriage, which he accepted. Now that they are married, they were still trading, they were still working, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was waiting. Now there's this debate: did Rasulullah know he was a prophet, or did he not know? There's a discussion: was he one that could not read and write, or could he read and write? So we'll discuss this in a second. We'll allow salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. From a book known as Bihar al-Anwar. If you guys will not know this book, inshallah when you're older you'll get to read it. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa wasallam was fluent in 72 languages. He could read and write easy. Now 72 doesn't mean the number 72. It means hundreds, thousands. It means many, many languages. There was no language that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa wasallam could not read or write. The reason that he did not show that he could read and write was, number one, it wasn't common amongst the Arabs. In Mecca, how many people do you think could read and write in Mecca at the time of Rasulullah? If there was, let's say, 1,000 people living in Mecca, could 500 of them read and write? Could 100 read and write? Only 11 people in Mecca could read and write at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It wasn't common. So it was very easy for him to not show that he could read and write. Furthermore, when we say that he couldn't read and write, it's not that he couldn't read and write. It was he never had a teacher, but he knew how to. So, did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam know that he was a prophet? Did he knew that there was something special about him? I already mentioned that when he was born, there was special occurrences in the sky. There was light shining in the bright stars, and there was something magnificent was going to happen. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa from day one knew exactly who he was. He knew exactly what was to come, and he knew exactly of his mission. It was just waiting for the right time. And that time came when he went to Mount Hira. He used to go to Mount Hira, and he used to go to the cave. And there he used to contemplate about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There he used to recite certain dua and so forth that he knew. And slowly came the revelation, that Hazrat Jibreel came down, and the famous line. Does anyone know the famous line from Surah Alaq? Iqra, no? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Iqra. No. Yeah, Iqra bismi rabbik al-khalaq. Read in the name of your Creator. And here, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam started to recite the Holy Quran. Now, when we look at stories of Rasulullah meeting the angel Jibreel, they say that, he was scared. He was sweating. He looked really nervous. He didn't know what happened. This is not true, simply because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us, and our scholars have told us, that when one receives wahi, do you guys know what wahi is? Wahi is when you receive some sort of communication from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It could be a dream. It could, like Nabi Ibrahim received the dreams. This is one way Allah communicates to us. It could be verbally, like Hazrat Musa, Nabi Musa alayhi salam, he used to speak with a voice. that was giving the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It could be, something that you do instinctively, like the mother of Nabi Musa putting him in the river. Or it could be an angel coming to you, like Nabi Ibrahim's wife, when the angel came to his wife Hajara to tell her that she's going to have a baby. She's going to be shocked. So this is ways that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala communicates with his prophets and also with certain creations. Now when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to receive wahi, when he used to receive Quran from the heavens, it was like a light shining into his heart. He says it was so strong, it was like, an elephant sitting on my chest. It was like a bell ringing really loud in my ear. And he goes, it used to cause me to shake and it used to cause me to sweat because it was so strong. This was the words of Allah coming into my heart. It was so strong. And he had to really, really, concentrate, and he had to be very, very patient in order to endure this wahi that was coming to him. We know this, that the things that come from the heavens are really, really powerful. How many of you guys heard of the armor or the dua, Joshin Kabir? Have you heard of this dua? The 1,000, we recite it on Laylatul Qadr, the 1,000 names of Allah. This came because the body armor came from the heavens, and it was so heavy on the Rasulullah, he couldn't lift it, he couldn't wear it. Then this dua came, like recite this dua so you can have the energy, the power and the strength to wear this armor. So things that came from the heaven were very, very strong and very, very difficult for our Prophet. That's why he used to sweat. That's why he used to shake and so forth. Not because he was scared, it was the intensity of the light of the Quran. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is receiving Quran, and he goes to his family, because his mission has started. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told him, now you must bring Islam to the people. So he goes to his family at a famous dinner. He calls everyone, and this dinner is known as Zul-Ashira. And here he calls the head tribes and also all of Bani Hashim, and here he talks to them and he says, listen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has spoken to me. The angels have come to me, and now I'm here to bring you a religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a true religion, because we have gone astray. I've come back to guide you onto the correct path. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says that I have come to remind you of the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have come to remind you of Tawheed. It is not that people do not know God, it is that they have gone astray. I've come to bring you back, and I've come to perfect your akhlaq. This was the mission of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And here, at Zul-Ashira, he came, he gave a speech, he told his family and his friends and the other tribes in Mecca that this is what I'm about to do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has spoken to me. I have come to bring and guide you back to the right path. Who will help me? Which one of you guys would help me? Who put their hand up? There, that was it, out of the family. Anyone put their hand up? Nobody put their hand up. Who put their hand up? Ahsantum. The only person that put their hand up was an 8-year-old boy by the name of Ali ibn Abu Talib. He put his hand up. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Ali, put your hand down. He asked the people again, who's going to help me with my mission? Ali ibn Abu Talib put his hand up. He said, Ya Ali, put your hand down. He asked the third time, which one of you are going to help me with my mission? No one put their hand up except an 8-year-old Ali ibn Abi Talib. And here Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that you, Ali, are my friend, my brother, and you will be my successor after me. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. As Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam started to invite people to Islam, the Muslims received a lot of negativity, they received a lot of hate. People were telling them, you can't do this, you can't do that. Does anyone know why people would oppose Rasulullah? Why people would come to Rasulullah and say, we don't like your religion, we don't want your religion, stop talking about your religion? Can anyone have a guess? So, how would you feel if you were doing something in a certain way for 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, and someone's come and said, no, you're doing this wrong, you have to change it now? You'd feel a bit maybe guilty or embarrassed, or maybe you feel that, no, I'm right, you're wrong. I do it like this. My father did it like this. My grandfather did it like this. My great-grandfather did it like this. Who are you to tell me to change? Furthermore, idol worshipping was very, very big in Mecca. And everyone, they had 365 or 64 idols, one for every day almost. And the Meccans used to sell idols. Now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has come with this brand new religion which says there's no such thing as idol worshipping. These idols are useless. If I have a shop and I'm selling idols, what's going to happen to my business? Are more people going to buy or are less people going to buy? And thus, the merchants of Mecca, who didn't just only sell idols but also sold clothes. In fact, when you went for pilgrimage to do tawaf around the Kaaba, you had to buy brand new clothes from the market to do it. Otherwise, you weren't allowed to do it. So, the merchants of Mecca, slowly their business was affected and their money was affected. And thus, they were the ones who truly opposed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were the ones that were saying that you're affecting our business, we're not making much money. Can you please stop what you're doing and stop with this new religion of yours? But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam refused and said, no, this is the haqq. This is the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am a prophet of God and I must continue my mission. And so thus began a series of battles, whether they were political embargoes or sanctions upon the Muslims, or whether there were actual physical battles like Badr and also like Siffin and so forth. This happened with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa and he was victorious upon many, many times fighting these battles. And inshallah, we have seen more and more and can learn more and more from Rasulullah and the way he conducted bureaucracy and the way he conducted real conflict amongst those who opposed him. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now what I really wanted to focus on was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a human being. For he was the one that said that I have come to remind you of the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but also to perfect your akhlaq. Our maraja today give a great importance on akhlaq, not to raise your voice, to use good sensible language, to have mannerisms of etiquette of, when you welcome someone to your house, allow them to sit in the best places, give them the best of food, and so forth. All of these we learn from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In fact, when we have a newborn baby, we recite adhan in the air. We shave the hair and we weigh the hair, how much is it, and then we look and we give gold to charity and so forth. This was all taught to us by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it was through Imam Al-Hassan. When Imam Hassan was born, we learned all these traditions and we learned all of these etiquettes. Now one may ask, how did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and why did he have such friends that maybe became very, very difficult later on? Such friends that we do not consider to be very truthful. Why did the wives of Rasulullah, some of the wives, give him problems? Why were they the ones, raising their voice against him and so forth? If Rasulullah is a true prophet, doesn't he not know that these people are going to do bad things? Does he not know that certain companions are going to do certain bad things? If the wives are so bad and so horrible to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, why did he marry them in the first place? Why is he with them? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a mercy to mankind. He was one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam invited everybody to Islam. It didn't matter who you were, what background you had, what tribe you belonged to. Everyone was allowed to come and join. And Rasulullah kept giving people a chance to prove themselves. He kept working on people that you can, be a better person. You can be a better Muslim. And he had faith and he had hope that these certain people who kept doing wrong would change. You see, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam could have gone and he could have, killed all of his enemies. But the reality is, and this is why a lot of people even talk about Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, that could Abu Abdullah al-Hussein not have killed Yazid the Mal'un? Could he not have killed the Umayyads? The A'immah, the Imams that we have, the Ahlul Bayt, didn't want to kill a tyrant. They wanted to kill tyranny. They didn't want to kill a dictator. They wanted to kill dictatorship. And it was through here we learned the true essence of the Ahlul Bayt and the true meaning behind conflict. That it's not about killing someone, it's not about taking away someone, but it's to take away the philosophy and the idea. And if we have dictators today, we don't need to remove dictators, we need to remove the idea of dictatorship. Because if there is no dictatorship, there will be no dictators. We're not here to remove tyrants, but we're here to remove tyranny. Because if there is no tyranny, there will be no tyrants. And we're here to remove, not just the unjust person, but injustice throughout the whole world. Because if there is no injustice, then there will be no unjust person. This is why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had such companions, and these companions did wrong against him, but he kept giving them a chance. It wasn't about removing them, it was about showing us the philosophy and the ideas of what comes from evil and what comes from batil. And this is where we learned from it. Even when we discuss the wives of the Prophet, certain wives of the Prophet gave Rasulullah issues. So why did he marry them? He married them out of, akhlaq, out of hope that maybe if anyone will change this person, it will be me. I can change this person. I am Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. And furthermore, this is a deep discussion which we do in the Hawza and stuff, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also was testing Rasulullah, but also testing the ummah. That you, my Muslims, you, my lovers, I, Allah, I'm looking, will you follow me, Allah, or will you follow your mother, the one that you call Mu'mineen? This is the test, and this is what, not just Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had to endure, but also a test that we today have to also go through. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now coming back to the character of Rasulullah, and especially for the young kids, I wanted to discuss certain miracles of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And there were certain physical miracles that he had. You saw in the video that wherever he walked, there would be a cloud on top of him, so that the sun would not discomfort Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Furthermore, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and also A'imma, this is taken from the book Haqq al-Yaqeen, he didn't have a shadow. There was no shadow that he had, because Rasulullah himself was made of nur, he was made of light. So if you have light and you put another light next to it, where is the shadow? There is no shadow. Rasulullah never had a shadow. Furthermore, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whenever you would stand next to him, no one would be taller than him. It was impossible. Maybe far away, if you measured your height, you're taller than Rasulullah. But when you stand in front of him, automatically you would be lower than him. This is one of his miracles. Wherever he walked, people could smell Jannah. They could smell the fragrance of Jannah. And the fragrance would last 2-3 days even. So if Rasulullah walked through the streets, the next day and the day after, they could still smell him and say, wow, did Rasulullah walk through here? I can still smell him. This was another one of his miracles. His hair would be up to his shoulders but wouldn't grow any longer. Insects would not go near him. Now, how many times are we sitting there, we see a fly or a mosquito and we're trying to wave it away and so forth? That would never happen to Rasulullah, because they wouldn't go near him at all. This was his other miracle. And furthermore, his face would shine. There was so much nur coming out of his face. The stories tell us, the hadith also tell us that at night time, when one of his wives would drop a pin on the floor, all he had to do was look, and the nur would shine and light up the floor, and they could find where the pin had dropped. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was the greatest of creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is what we call, the grandfather or the patriarch of A'immah. He's the one that used to carry Abu Abdullah al-Hussein on his shoulders, and the one that raised Amirul Mu'mineen, and the one on the day of Ghadir raised the arm of Ali ibn Abi Talib, saying that he is the successor after me. If anything I could leave with you guys about the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that always have the best of akhlaq, and always try and carry yourself in the most humble and polite ways. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the one that taught us to smile is charity. If you cannot give anything, smile. Try and help someone, improve their day. And furthermore, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the one that brought us the Ahlul Bayt, and the one that told us to hold tight on the Quran and the Ahlul Bayt, and without them you will never go astray. Inshallah, I think my time is up. Thank you, and inshallah, please enjoy the rest of the celebrations. And if you have any questions about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, please, I'm here for a couple of more hours, so you can come to me and you can ask, and I have no issue. Thank you very much. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
We would like to thank Sayyid Mohsin Shah for his wonderful speech, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him and give him the tawfiq, inshaAllah. I think Sayyid Ahmed also is waiting now to give his poems, right, Sayyid Ahmed? So let us welcome him with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
لا بأس بالثانية. الثالثة على محبة الزهراء بأعلى أصواتكم. وأحسن منك لم تر قط عيني، وأحسن منك لم تر قط عيني، وأجمل منك لم تلد النساء، وأحسن منك لم تر قط عيني. وين راح أصل؟ وأجمل منك لم تلد النساء، خلقت مبرأ من كل عيب، خلقت مبرأ من كل عيب، كأنك خلقت كما تشاء. صلوا على محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
عمي كسرى كسر فيك علي، أنا شلون كسرى وبانت على وجوه الكفور، كسرى ميلادك هدميوان، كسرى أو تلاشت أصنام الجاهلية. صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد.
يا ليل الفرح بالله أرجوك بستان، ما أدري يعرفونها الجماعة ما يعرفونها. يا ليل الفرح بالله أرجوك بستان زرعنا الورد للموعود، عم زرعنا الوريد للموعود بستان أبوس جفوف عشق الروح، بس اثنين قليل أبوس جفوف عشق الروح بستان وريدا منا بس يرضى علي صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآله.
يا هل سامع كلام أرجوك قبلة، يا هل سامع كلام أرجوك قبلة، نور النبي أبد ما صار قبل صلاة وصوم هو إلي قبلة، وهوية الحق ختمها الحيدرية صلوات. وسرها محمد جوهر الدنيا، وسرها محمد جوهر الدنيا، وسرها بجيت الناس محييها، وسرها نجاة الأمة الهادي، وسرها وفضح نور ظلام الجاهلية صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
يوم ميلاد الرسول نهني حيدر والبتول، اليوم ميلاد الرسول نهني حيدر والبتول، صوت جبريل اعتلى بابو القاسم يا هلا، بابو القاسم يا هلا. اليوم ميلاد الرسول نهني حيدر والبتول، اليوم ميلاد الرسول نهني حيدر والبتول، صوت جبريل اعتلى بابو القاسم يا هلا، بابو القاسم يا هلا. يا هلا بنوره كلها مسروره، بالسماء وبالأرض فرحة القدومة، الكون يتباهى بمولدك طه، كشف عن كل البشر حزنه وهمومه، الكون يتباهى بمولدك طه، كشف عن كل البشر حزنه وهمومه، نورك هلالي بالسما العالي، عكس نورك على القمر ونجومه، يا سراجا يا منير اشتق من نور القدير، يا سراجا يا منير اشتق من نور القدير، العالم بنور ملا بابو القاسم يا هلا، العالم بنور ملا بابو القاسم يا هلا، العالم بنور ملا بابو القاسم يا هلا. اليوم ميلاد الرسول هني حيدر والبتول، اليوم ميلاد الرسول هني حيدر والبتول، صوت جبريل اعتلى بابو القاسم يا هلا، بابو القاسم يا هلا. يا هلا بنوره كلها مسروره، بالسماء وبالارض فرحة قدومه، الكون يتباهى مولدك طه، اكشف عن كل البشر حزنه وهمومه، نورك هلالي بالسما العالي، اعكس نورك على القمر هو ونجومه، اعكس نورك على القمر هو ونجومه. يا سراجا يا منير اشتق من نور القدير، يا سراجا يا منير اشتق من نور القدير، العالم بنور ملا بابو القاسم يا هلا، العالم بنور ملا. اي مولدك رحمة للبشر نعمة، مولدك رحمة للبشر نعمة، يا امان الدنيا بس اسمك نذكره، رحمة للعالم سخط على الظالم، رحمة للعالم سخط للظالم، انت يا سر الاله من يفسره، الباري بالقدرة خلى ابو الزهرة، الباري بالقدرة خلى ابو الزهرة، بالعلوم الأحمدية العالمي حيرة، بالعلوم الأحمدية العالمي حيرة، وصار إسلام السلام للديانات الختام، صار إسلام السلام للديانات الختام، بنورها العالم حلا يا ابو القاسم يا هلا، بنورها العالم حلا يا ابو يا ابو القاسم يا هلا. مكة مفتخرة بيك مبتشرة، مكة مفتخرة بيك مبتشرة، مولدك صارت فخر هي على الأوطان، من ننولد بيها ننولد بيها حنت ايديها، واصبحت مكة عروسة بني عدنان، مكة مفتخرة بيك مبتشرة، مولدك صارت فخر هي على الأوطان، ننولد بيها حنت ايديها، واصبحت مكة عروسة بني عدنان، منها هب اجمل عطر كان تنتظر عمر، منها هب اجمل عطر كان تنتظر عمر، اليوم كلها مهنجلة بابو القاسم يا هلا، اليوم كلها مهنجلة، بالفرج ندعي يظهر المهدي، بالفرج ندعي يظهر المهدي، وينقذ الأمة الملاها الظلم والجور، صارت الفرصة صارت الفرحة بينا من ذبحة، صارت الفرحة بينا من ذبحة، دنيا بس أحزانها علينا يدور، الأمل جيتك تنتظر طلتك، الأمل جيتك تنتظر طلتك، وبقدومك تمتلي الدنيا سرور، وبقدومك تمتلي الدنيا سرور، تهدم أصنام الطغاة تحلى وياك الحياة، تهدم أصنام الطغاة تحلى وياك الحياة، صوت كلنا نرتله بابو القاسم يا هلا، صوت كلنا نرتله بابو القاسم يا هلا. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. عم ظلام الجاهلية انزاح يا المختار، ظلام الجاهلية انزاح يا المختار، نزل نورك بأمر الباري الجبار، أو طواغيت الضلال دخلت بانذار، والحق يتنومس بنواره، والحق يتنومس والحق يتنومس، ماكو مو ماله وساد الجماعة. عم الفقير بجيتك مبتشر والمظلوم، الفقير بجيتك مبتشر والمظلوم، يا عون وتجي تساعد المهموم، عمي يا عون وتجي تساعد المهموم، حية الدين بنوارك من القيوم، والباطل طاحت تيجانا والباطل طاحه والباطل طاحه. عم زرع بسمة أمل من جهادينا، زرع بسمة أمل من جهادينا، ومن حقنا بفخر لما انتباهنا. عم وسام الخدمة هذا الشرف يكفينا، وسام الخدمة هذا الشرف يكفينا. ونذوب بحبكم يا الهادي، ونذوب بحبكم، ونذوب بحبكم يا الهادي. وافلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
أحسنتم سيدنا جزاكم الله خير. There will be a quiz followed by a raffle. So I would like to invite Brother Hussein to organize this with the loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum. Hope you're all doing well. So now we're going to play a Kahoot quiz followed by raffles, and we're going to do a few auction stuff. So for everybody, all the kids and any of the elders, if you could go on Google, type in Kahoot, and then put in the game pin here. So go on Google on your phones, type in Kahoot, and then type in the game pin 529538. That's for upstairs as well, whoever's playing from the women. So we're just going to wait for 3 minutes until you all can join. So all go on your phones, type in Kahoot. I'm going to do an online quiz. Yeah, you can do scan there as well. So you can scan on the TV or just type in the game pin. So once you go on Kahoot, you don't log in or sign up, you just press play. Ask Abu Hussein over there. You want to play Kahoot? So we've already got a few people starting. So game pin 529 538. لا 538. لا 529 538. خليه نيك نيم. أي اسم تريد؟ ها؟ Come, we got another minute or two. Anyone else from upstairs or anyone down here? Join the app? Or you got no phone? Where's your phone? Come, one of you can play on my phone. Just type it in. Just give it to one of the kids. Okay, last minute. Just press play. And then type in the game pin. إذا واحد من الأكبار ما يجون يلعبون خليه للجهال، منو عند التليفون يطي للجهال. أنا طلعت تليفوني. Let's go to this guy. your name? Okay, is everybody ready? So each question is 30 seconds long. You've got 30 seconds to answer the question. I'm going to read out the question for you, and then you've got 30 seconds to answer it. It's going to be different style questions, true and false, or it's going to give you 4 options. Okay?
What is it about?
Nabi. So if you've listened, all of you children, to the lecture, all the answers, most of them will be in it. So it will show, so all of you should be winning, yeah? So all of you should have been listening to the lectures. Okay, go in there, I'll tell you when to start. Okay, we ready? Is everybody signed up? Give it, go to Ammu, he'll give it to you, Wi-Fi. Go to Ammu. Everybody else signed up? Is everybody ready?
It's not black. Can you give me 1 minute to write it? Am I using
Go to him, go to my brother, go to Mehdi, he'll help you out.
I already got mine.
Okay, go to him so he'll help you set up. نشوف بعد آخر الناس. So we're going to do top 3. The first person will get a prize, and then second and third person.
Excuse me. Why is someone called
Because they chose to be called Kuhu. So yeah, 44 أشخاص. Got it? He's got my phone. Okay, that seems about it. It's not working? Okay, Mehdi, let's start now. Seems like everybody's on. Okay, here we go. First question. Get ready. In what animal year was the Prophet born? So the year of the tiger, the year of the elephant, the year of the panther, or the year of the camel? So you got 20 seconds left to answer. Quickly, make sure you answer. Which year was the Prophet born in? 10 seconds left. So it was the year of the elephant. Okay, so Maryam's at the top, and then you can see from people who's at the top. Second, third. All right, next question. Where was the Holy Prophet born? So please type in your question. Ya Medina, Walid al-Nabi. 20 more seconds. Five seconds left. The answer was Mecca. Okay, next question. What is the date of the Prophet's birthday? 17th of Rajab, 17th of Ramadan, 17th of Rabi' al-Awwal or 25th of December, Christmas Day? Which one is it? Which is the Prophet's birthday? Yeah, you can help me. 3 seconds left. Make sure you answer. It was 17th Rabi' al-Awwal. So Zaki is in first place, followed by Maryam and then Noor. What was the name of the Prophet's father? You should all know this from Sayyid Mohsin's lecture today. Is it Abdullah? Is it Abu Talib? Abu David? Or Abdul Muttalib? Which one is it? I think it's Abu David. Five seconds left. Make sure you answer. The answer was Abdullah. In first place is E now. Go to Ammu, maybe he'll help you out. Try and load it. What is the name of the Prophet's mother? Aisha? Asiya, sorry. Fatima? Amina? Or Maryam? What is the Prophet's mother's name? No. 28 سؤال. 28 questions altogether. I didn't change it. I didn't. So what is the Prophet's mother's name? I can't hear you. No. هذا شوية أطول. 10 seconds left. Have you all answered? So what do we think it is? Patience. It is Amina. In first place is still E. Next question. What is the name of the tribe the Prophet belonged to? Was it Bani Hashim? Was it Bani Asad? Bani Tamimi? Or Bani Israel? Which one? What is the name of the tribe the Prophet belonged to? What are we thinking? يمكن بني تميمي ليش؟ ايش فيها؟ من تعرف بني إسرائيل؟ It was Bani Hashim. Next question. So E is in still first place. Anyone can catch up to E? Who raised the Prophet as his own son? Abu David, Abu Talib, Abu Muttalib, or Abdullah? Who raised the Prophet as his own son? 10 seconds left. Three seconds. It was Abu Talib. Raised the Prophet as his own son. E is in still first place, then Zaki behind. Prophet Muhammad was known to be trustworthy. Is that true or false? Everybody should get this question right. True or false? Was Nabi Muhammad trustworthy? Ten seconds. MashaAllah, 45 right, well done. Next question. Who did the Holy Prophet marry? Was it Mary, Queen of Scots? Was it Cleopatra? Was it Hermione Granger from Harry Potter? Or was it Sayyidah Khadija? Who did the Holy Prophet marry? This question, everybody should get it right as well. Who do you think it is? Hermione? Maybe it's Mary, Queen of Scots. She's a queen. Well done, everybody got that right. What was Sayyidah Khadija's career? So what did Sayyidah Khadija do in her life? Was she a dinner lady? Was she a police lady? A lollipop lady? Or a business lady? What did Sayyidah Khadija do? Five seconds left. Yeah? Who put dinner lady? Okay, next one is a slider question. How old was the Prophet when he got married? What age was the Prophet? You should all get this right. How old was the Prophet? Was he 20, 25, 30, 40? So on the slider you can choose which age. The answer was the answer was 25 years old. The Prophet was 25 sana. Okay, how old was the Prophet when his mission started? His Islamic mission. How old was the Prophet? Five seconds left. The answer is... was he 40? Yes, he was. 40 years old. He is still in first place. Is anyone going to beat E? What was the name of the mountain the Prophet met the angel Jibreel? Was it Mount Sin, Mount Uhud, Mount K2, or Mount Hira? Mount Sin. Mount Sin. 5 seconds left. Which mountain did the Prophet meet angel Jibreel? The answer is Mount Harra. Can anyone beat E? Okay, next question. What was the first word the angel told the Prophet to say? Iqra, read. Qum, stand. Ijlus, sit. Or qul, speak. What was the first word the angel told the Prophet to say? And the answer is Iqra. Iqra bis. Oh, Zaki went down. How many daughters did the Holy Prophet have? Did he have 1, 2, 3, 4? How many daughters did the Holy Prophet have? Everybody should get this question right. Huh? Allahu A'lam. How many daughters did the Holy Prophet have? 3 seconds left. And the answer is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Fatimah al-Zahra alayhi salam. Oh, he went down. Mohsin is top. Maybe, I don't know. What was the name of the Prophet's daughter? Is she called Khadija, Zainab, Fatima, or Kulthum? I know I just said the answer, but there we go. Yalla, everybody should get this right. Five seconds left. Everybody should get this question right. And the answer is Fatima. Who was the seven that put Zainab? Mohsin still first. If that's my mum, well done. Who was the first lady to accept Islam? Was it Sakina? Was it Zainab? Was it Khadija? Or was it Fatima? Who was the first lady to accept Islam? 5 seconds left. Just refresh it. The answer is Khadija. Go to Mehdi. Go to Mehdi, he'll help you out. Mohsin is still top. Which city did the Prophet migrate to? Medina, Najaf, Riyadh, or Jeddah? Which city did the Prophet migrate to? إلى يا مدينة انتقل النبي. 5 seconds left. خلينا نشوف. The answer is Medina. Najaf. Who put Najaf? Come on. The color of the Prophet's turban was green. Is it true or false? Yeah, what color was the Prophet's turban? Ya lon channel, what's it called? Shmagh. Shmagh mal Rasul. Is it true or false? Let's find out. True or false? And the answer is true. النبي Mohsin is still first, followed by Susan, and then Zaki. Who's Susan? You got a white lady upstairs? What was the Holy Prophet's favorite fruit? This is a bit of a trick question. This is double points. Whoever gets this right will get double points. What was the Holy Prophet's favorite fruit? So this is a bit of a trick question, but it's double points. Five seconds left. And the answer is dates, tamar. Tamar was the Prophet's favorite fruit. Yes, it is a fruit. Thank you very much. All right, next question. What are the Holy Prophet's other names? Is it Ahmed? Is it Mustafa? Is it Hamid? Or is it all of the above? Which one? Is it just Ahmed? Is it just Mustafa? Hamid? Or all of the above? Five seconds left. Have you all answered? And the answer is all of the above. Hey? Next question. What do we call the companions and friends of the Holy Prophet? Do we call them mandem? Do we call them asdiqa? Do we call them sahaba? Or do we call them Taliban? Talibah, sorry. So mandem, asdiqa, sahaba or talibah? What do we call the companions of the Holy Prophet? And the answer is Sahaba. Who put Mandam? Seriously, come on. 7 people. Right, Mohsin still in first place. What do we call the great migration of the Holy Prophet? Wait. What do we call the great migration of the Holy Prophet from Mecca to Medina? Is it called the Great Migration, Al-Hijra, Safar al-Akbar, or the Great Escape? Sounds like a good film. Al-Hijra, Safar al-Akbar. Hijra. And the answer is Hijra, Al-Hijra. Okay, next question is the true or false. In the Prophet's time, Saudi Arabia was called Arabia. True or false? بوقت النبي كان اسمه سعودية لو بس عربية. Arabia, what's Arabia? Arabia. True or false? Three seconds left, and the answer is false. What? Are you kidding me? Who put true? It's false. Come on, guys, you should have got that right. What was the Saudi Arabia called in the Prophet's time? So now you should get this right. Is it called Hijaz? Is it called Agrabah? Is it called Edgware Road? Or Arabia? Is it E Road in London? Arabia? Agrabah, where Aladdin was? Or Hijaz? 5 seconds left. And the answer is Hijaz. Mohsin still in first place. Can anyone beat Mohsin? What was the name of the winged horse that ascended the Prophet on the night of Mi'raj? Was it Zuljana? Was it Bullseye? Was it Hassan? Or was it Burak? What is the name of the winged horse? صح? The answer is Burak. That is the name of the winged horse. Next question. What is the famous dua given to our holy prophet, also known as the armor? Is it dua Ahad, dua Kumail, dua Faraj, or dua Joshan al-Kabir? Yes, al-Kabir. What is the answer? Which dua is known as the armor given to the Holy Prophet? And the answer is dua Joshan al-Kabir. Okay, this one has double points. What did the Prophet call all his family to eat and invite them to join his mission? Was it in Nando's? Was it Zul al-Hira? Did I say that right? No. Zul al-Kira or Zul Ashira? This is the last question, by the way. Where did the Prophet call all his family to eat and invite them to join his Islamic mission? I think it's Nando's. That's when Nando's first started. It's called Zul Ashira. And in third place is Hawra. 25 out of 28 questions. Second place is Ahmed. 26 out of 28. And in first place is Ahsan. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The prizes and the raffles and the auction will be after the salah, inshallah. So صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر الله أكبر. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن عليا ولي الله. أشهد أن عليا مولانا وأولاده المعصومين بالحق حجج الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. وأفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد.